the documentary about Roger Ebert's life called Life Itself, which is named off of his autobiography, just came out recently. And for me, it was a little difficult reviewing this film because I actually worked on the last incarnation of his review show, Ebert Presents at the Movies. Outside of my days of working with Roger, what I can say about the film is that it really showed the kind of man that he was. He was a very genuine, charismatic person who cared a lot for other people. He was really one of the sweetest guys ever.
He is a nice guy, but he's not that nice.
It surprisingly, unlike his own autobiography, really goes into detail of his days of starting up his show with Gene Siskel. And one thing I didn't realize when I saw this film was how the two of them really butted heads, not only on camera, but off camera.
Sound a little excited, Gene. Sound less excited, Roger.
On the outside, they seemed like they didn't really like one another, but deep down on the inside, you can see that they truly loved each other deeply. It did a great job of examining how they had to work with one another through the relationship that they had. You know, they're very different when it came to how they were as people and how they reviewed films, which is why it was so great.
They almost didn't care what anyone else thought, as long as they could try to persuade the other.
The structure is truly fantastic, and I remember before I even saw it, I kept wondering, what are they going to do with the structure? Because the autobiography goes very much into detail, not on his show, but on his younger years, on his travels to England when he lived there, and all the filmmakers that he got to know.
He is a soldier of cinema who cannot even speak anymore, and he plows on, and that touches my heart very deeply.
It was good that the movie focused so much on the show, because it's fair to say, I think that that's what the audience wonders about, that's what they want to know about, and it does a great job of examining that and examining his marriage and relationship to Chaz, who I've had the honor to get to know for so many years, and she's just one of the sweetest people on the face of the earth.
She changed his life immeasurably. She changed his personality.
And they both really kind of kept me from leaving the film industry, because I worked with so many people who were not very nice. And they showed me that there still are some very sweet folks out there, and you just have to find them. Because personally, for myself, I'm kind of very sensitive. You could tell I look like it.
3 years ago, I felt a lump under my chin, and it turned out to be cancer.
It showed how even when he wasn't in the best physical shape, how he always had such a confident demeanor, how he didn't let it take him down, and how he was such a I guess, for lack of a better words, to repeat myself, a confident man.
You want to rest a little bit or work a little bit?
Ask Steve, he's the director.
Giving the film to Steve James, who's also the director of Hoop Dreams and Stevie, was a wonderful choice.
Okay, now for my number one film in the 1990s, and my choice isn't a fiction film, although it plays like one, but a documentary named Hoop Dreams from 1994.
Well, I think it's a extraordinary film. I mean, you have real people becoming dramatic characters. You follow their lives like everyone's life, I think, is a drama.
With Steve James, like many other filmmakers, including, and I didn't know this until I read his autobiography and I saw the film, that, you know, he kind of started Martin Scorsese's career and various other filmmakers. He was a pioneer of getting cinema that maybe most people don't know about, films that don't see much of the public eye, and exposing them. And it opened up the doors to myself as to seeing that critics aren't people who are there to bash your movies. They're here to help your movies flourish.
Stop! Look at that. Every year we find something absolutely amazing, totally amazing in the films. It's not there, but we find it.
When I see Roger and the kind of critic he was, and how analytical and deep thinking he was, sometimes it makes me worry if, when I review movies, if I'm going too much for those soundbite-ish type of reviews. And it really kind of made me think a lot about that myself. Ashton Kutcher, once a model, always a model. That movie was awesome! It was more awesome than I could imagine it would be. So, what'd you think of Godzilla? When I was seeing it at Ebert Fest back in April, which is where I saw it, it was very touching. I almost cried during it. So that should be something right there. And I would highly recommend it. And of course, if you're gonna make a movie about a critic, it better get good reviews, and thank God it is. And not because everyone knew Roger, I think because it really is a fantastic review. Even if you're a fan of him or you're not a fan of him or don't know who he is, it's a great examination into a man and his life, some of his flaws and some of his strengths, which is what a documentary should do. You know, you show the good and the bad, but in the end, it really showed the good in him because there wasn't that much bad at all to show. Go see it. It's a fantastic movie. And that's it.